Is it?
We are now.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, one and all, to Edition Thru Distraction, your twice a week weekly podcast where me, Johnny Q, and our good friend Randy, who sits over on the controls. Say hello, Randy.
Hola.
We bring it to you, and we try to add a little value to your daily routine, break you out of that monotony through our razzle-dazzle, razzly-dazzly nerdcraft and conversation. It's like sitting with the nerds at lunch, doing arts and crafts, but of the highest level. Randy, welcome for being here.
Thanks for having me, JB.
No, thank you, my friend. I'm just cleaning some brushes here. We want to take a moment to go through all of the. It seems like I just did all this, Randy. I'm having.
Like
I think I had a glitch in the Matrix, my friend.
Little deja vu.
A little deja vu. Well, vuja day, all day long. Yeah, there's all that important stuff down and below that it's always uncomfortable to talk about, but it's important, right, Randy? It's important to talk about the things that are down there and the doobly-doos and the cubly-cues. We have links to our Patreon. We have links to the Quasi Shop. We have links to all our social. We post all the time on Instagram in particular, and that gets copied also to Facebooks and to the Twitter, so you can also follow us there. And now, especially on the Twitter, Randy's, we're going to start trying to, when we go live, that we'll have a blast. So, as in a Twitter blast. And I'm sure we'll have a rip-roaring good time as well. I mean, don't let me sell it short. It'll be a blast in more ways than one.
It's going to cause a tweet storm.
Yeah. And so all that information's down there. The Patreon, hey, if you want to throw us a buck, help us keep the lights on, we sure appreciate it. So that's an easy way to do that. Oh, and also the links to the recommended gear, the affiliate links. I forgot to throw up the link last time for the gear, the Liquitex. So I'll do that this time if I think about that. I'll try to do it directly after the show. And I think that's, there's the like button. That's the one that looks like the big thumbs up, right? So if you want to give us a thumbs up somewhere, that's the way you do it, Randy. If people were confused about where to put the thumb.
Where the thumbs up is?
Where the thumbs up should go. Why don't you put that thumbs up on your YouTube screen? You click it. That's where that happens. And then there's also the subscribe button. And when they click that gives them access, Randy, to a bell. And when they click on that bell, it has magic things that happen, not unlike that. They may or may not get a majestic town crier bell heralding them. But what I do know is that if they do that, bell or no bell that they hear, they'll know that within my heart, it's just grown a little bit bigger. One size bigger because of their generosity. So they can take that one to the bank. And I'll love them a little bit more. They say that you don't have favorites. You have favorites, Randy. Those are lies, but you know that. Welcome, my friend. Thank you again for being here, Randy. It is good to see you. Also, word of mouth, share. Tell your mother, tell your brother, even tell your secret lover. Studio Johnny Q. That's where we're taking some of that sweet, sweet nerd stuff and making it just a little bit sweeter. Randy, also, unless you had something that you wanted to interject quickly, I had in the show notes that we had a visit this morning because you were talking about some of the daily day-to-day things, right? Uh-huh. The holidays.
The obscure holidays.
Yeah, and I think that one of them is a birthday suit day.
Tomorrow is work naked day.
Work naked.
So...
Work naked.
Hold on. Let me...
Yeah, Randy, feel free, since you won't be here tomorrow. Oh, wow. So high.
Yeah.
Now I know what it means.
Turn your head and cough.
Randy, I've heard the term manscaping before. I've never really seen it look like a topiary garden, though.
Do you like how I did my chest hair in the shape of a heart?
Yeah. Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I'm like a little Care Bear.
Man, I thought it was like goddamn crop circles. But hey, whatever. Yeah, I see. It's Care Bear. Yeah, I see it. Nice. Hair Bear.
Caring is sharing.
Hair Bear. Nice.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, my friend. I'll take that one for the team. So you guys, my good friends, do not have to. But Randy, you be commando over there. Be easy breezy. But speaking of easy breezy, and it being that, I thought that I'd have a friend of the studio, Smoothie Q Breeze, stop by and see if he was willing to do some bumpers for the show. And he was. Smoothie can only visit really early in the morning, so that's why you didn't get a chance to see him. But Randy, he gave us three samples, and they go from just easing in and then trying to kick it up a notch. So if you wanted to give those a listen while I work on some of the stuff here, I think that
Sure.
and those should be the last three scenes. And if you would start with the first one. The one that says one, and then there's one that says two, one says three.
Yeah. Let me get my. I need to pop out the chat window so I can see chat.
Oops, sorry. And now I need to kick things and just make noise that's not needed.
Just as that little extra. Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais. Je ne sais what?
Hey JC, what's up, buddy?
Hey JC.
Happy Thursday to you as well, brother.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate it. This time we didn't wait 10 minutes before starting the show. We just waited 2.
Okay, here's the first one.
Okay.
Oh,
it's
playing over the. Yeah, I gotta turn the speakers off. All right, I gotta listen to the audio to make sure it's going through.
Okay, and I'll be quiet to help you. And if you click off of it and click back onto the scene, it should reinitiate it. I think I have to wait for a second for Randy to get caught up on.
It's a 30-second delay.
Current affairs. Because when I did the recording,
I didn't hear it play.
You have to hear it come through our speakers. If you turn down our speakers, you won't hear it.
Oh, well.
Because I have it set to monitor only. That was what I was trying to tell you, and I didn't do a good job explaining it apparently. This morning when I did the tests, I did it as monitor only, so that they don't get a double output. And
yeah, I thought you just had it on the to go to the feed.
Yeah, so if you can hear it pretty good, it'll be boomy and bassy, but they should be able to hear it.
All right, let me try.
So as long as it's loud enough.
20.
Oh yeah, baby. This is Smoothie Q.
I don't know.
You got to have it louder than that. You're gonna need to have it louder.
Johnny Q.
Click off and give me that one again.
Yeah, I'll take it to a 50. There you go.
Oh yeah, baby. This is Smoothie Q Breeze coming at you from Studio Johnny Q.
All right, I think that they could.
Little Barry White, Bob Ross.
he gets that a lot, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. You know what time it is. Oh, it is Studio Johnny Q time. And that means that we're about to get nerd sexy up in here.
All right, and then the next one.
You know what time it is. It's Studio Johnny Q time. That means it is time to drop your nerd drawers, baby.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure it's sexy.
There was some Alanis Morissette there where Smoothie lost it on that one last one. Can we listen to that last one? I think one more time. And try not to chuckle at the end.
You know what time it is.
Oh, sorry. You could click off and click it right back on. I'll be quiet.
That means it is time to drop your nerd drawers, baby. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure it's sexy.
So I appreciated old Smoothie stopping by and
Why do my face muscles hurt from smiling?
I thought you might appreciate that, my friend. Like I said, I tried to do a lot of extra work to make sure that you didn't have to wrestle too much with it, but
it was like a little bit of like I think Smoothie might be the love child of Bob Ross and Barry White, and maybe a little Fat Albert thrown in.
Oh yeah. Hey. I'll see if I can impersonate Smoothie a little bit here.
Hey, hey, hey. We're going to paint some happy trees right now, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, have you seen my pet squirrel, baby?
That sounds like It sounds like such a euphemism when you say it like that.
Hey,
want to see my pocket squirrel?
He hangs out in my pocket. His name is Peapod, but don't worry. He's bigger than a Peapod, you know what I'm saying?
All right. JC always is on us about, keeping it, not pushing that hard R. So, but Randy, thank you for that, for playing those bumpers. I'm going to switch and, so yeah, today is Drop Your Nerd Drawers Day, and in prepreration
it is
for
breezy
tomorrow
in here, by the way.
Being, what's that?
It's a bit breezy in here, by the way.
Yeah, Q breezy?
Mm-hmm.
Easy. Oh, you're, yeah. Well, at least I can tell that you're well laundered, Randy. So thank you for that. You always do smell good, actually. That's actually true. You are one of the better smelling people that I know. One of the better smelling humans. In general. All right, Randy, I'm going to
so I did do my daily ablutions today.
What's that?
I did do my daily ablutions today.
Ooh. Yeah. Ablutions. That's what the kids are calling it today?
Yeah.
Nice. So this is kind of where we left off, Randy, was on some of all that dry brushing. So there is, that's what I wanted to show you. Here you can see, Randy, what it looked like. And now maybe I switch this to M50. What some of the stuff was looking like after we had done ink wash on everything versus how it's looking with the, let's see, let's try to switch to the M50 because you know how much it likes us. Randy, can you lend me your eye here for a second?
Mm-hmm.
So here is where we had applied the wash. It gives a lot of, really starts to begin to mute those colors even further. And then this is what it looks like kind of once we started doing the dry brush on top of it. So, and like you were pointing out several times to the viewer at home, you can actually see a lot more variation than the camera's picking up here. So it looks like we've totally undone all of the work that we did. It's not. It's still there, and very much doing what we're hoping it to do. But
sweet.
I want to work on actually putting some base coats on some of these other pieces. And actually, I got a couple of these large pieces, which I'm gonna try here. Oh. Randy, at the half price store, I picked up some nerd finds. Got these 40K Age of Sigmar Chaos Knights. They're mounted. Some mounted guys here. And they had marked the price down. Let's pull one of them out here. Oh! Randy, what other holidays was there any other holidays that we missed that we needed to get caught up on?
Yeah, let's see. So Monday was carrot cake day. So
Monday was carrot cake day.
They didn't have carrot cake where I looked for it, so we gotta catch up on that at some point. Today is stuffed mushroom day. So maybe we'll have to go out afterward and get some stuffed mushrooms.
I do like me some stuffed mushrooms.
Actually, the best stuffed mushrooms, because I've had a gamut, the full range of stuffed mushroom vittles, from utterly disgusting to the best that I've ever had, which was at a smokehouse in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Huh.
They were delicious. By far the best.
What do you think made them so good?
Well, they weren't greasy, nastily dripping grease. They were not way over salted and disgusting. They actually were, everything about them was perfectly done. The texture was great. The flavor was great. The seasoning was great. Everything.
Huh.
Delicious. Actually, I should find out the name of that place.
Randy,
so I
just
just give them a shout out because their food was really good. What?
I broke it.
You broke it?
I broke it.
Opportunity.
An opportunity to feel bad about myself.
My, you just created an opportunity.
So yeah, it's funny. These guys that kind of remind me of like a Molly Hatchet cover. which means nothing to you, but there's somebody who's over 40 that's finding that funny.
Molly Hatchet?
Yeah. Molly Hatchet was one of those bands that they had this badass looking album cover, and then you see it, and then the song is, I think one of their bigger songs was Flirting with Disaster, and then it's like this country rock. It's like, I'm flirting with disaster. And it's like, how do you have this dude that's like on a warhammer that looks like he's about ready to slay a dragon, and what you're getting is, I'm flirting with disaster. And it's like, okay. And you would find that a lot, like Styx. Like, they had these really trippy like album covers, and you listen to their stuff, and it's like, it's, you know, elevator music, you know, and I mean that in the best way possible. But it's just like, yeah, it's like whoever picked out your guys' your album covers is totally separate from anybody else in your band, and they may have never heard your music before.
Okay, so I'm looking at the covers now for Molly Hatchet, and it's kind of like reminiscent of like Conan or the any old like barbarian, probably comic book cover sort of.
Yeah, I mean, movie, what I'm showing you right here, right?
Like Golden Axe.
I mean,
that's what it reminds me of, is like the Golden Axe. I think it was Golden Axe Arcade.
Yeah. But you can see where I'm going at, where these mounted guys look like that, right?
Yeah.
So and these had some horrible paint jobs on them. This one, I don't know. I guess, man, I don't know whether these were just primed or what. So this is going to be.
These are cool.
Yeah, the mounted, they are cool. They got a lot of detail, and so I think I can just paint over top of this.
How much was that bag?
Hold on, I'm gonna try to give you a little bit of. I know you like it when it's close, Randy. There you go. How about that, buddy?
Nice.
How about that M50 lovin'?
There you go.
Sit pretty, bitch. Yeah.
So there's nice details on
five of these, and it was $15. So $3 a piece, right? So I thought these were definitely worth $3 a piece.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and they were marked down. They've had them there for a while. They got a bunch of really good stuff there right now, and but not as the demand is not high. So I'm trying to be patient and bide my time on some of it.
I gotta show you this.
Yes, please.
Oh my goodness, there's this Dr. Teeth versus Molly Hatchet cover apparently.
Huh. Dr. Teeth would be from Muppets. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that is the best thing ever. I want to. Yeah, we're going to be sharing that with the good people. Can you?
Gotta have to.
Yeah. Save that image. And yeah, you can put it in there. And you can save it. Yeah, and that space is fine. That's good. And then if you want to import it into that thing, we can share it with the good folks as well. I'm going to take these and move these over to the side. These came with a couple extra bases too, so nothing wrong with that. And I did promptly drop this outside too, but you know, like you say, it's opportunities. I just love how much these Game Workshop, man, if you buy these things new, they're so expensive. So I love finding these at the half price store because they just have so much detail. They'll paint up so nice. So these will probably end up getting put onto the store at some point. Let me move this to the side. It's funny, actually, at the same time I picked up Dr. Hook from the half price store. So you're talking about Dr. Teeth, which you know is kind of making fun of Dr. Hook. All right, now moving on. Here, Randy. Oh. Let's see here. Oh, I wanted to tell JC, I think he had hopped off previously, that I was looking at Audible. Mandy, I think we mentioned this, but JC had hopped off, that the Witcher books are very popular on the Audible right now.
Yeah,
there's several of them that are in the top 100. I mean, it's got like 10 of them.
It's like recommendations on YouTube and stuff, for YouTube videos and stuff, is being inundated with Henry Cavill and the rest of the cast, but mostly Henry Cavill in various iterations for Witcher.
And you know what's funny too was I was looking to see who did the voice work on the game, and I wasn't familiar with the guy who it was. And it's like, I think Henry Cavill's doing such a good job that I wouldn't be surprised they'd want him to do the voice work. But that would really suck if that was true for the guy who did the last couple, because he won awards for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I did so good that they made this into a movie that now they don't want to use me anymore.
Yeah. He actually highly touts that guy.
Does he?
Yeah, and credits him.
Good.
So
good.
It says that I think that he at least in part based his voice on his. Because he says that he loves the Witcher games, like he played them. He's a big gamer. He said.
Yeah, he
read the books. He said he loved the books too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to end up giving those a try, I think, at some point. I just picked up Dune. I'd never listened to or read Dune, so I'm really excited about that one, and I just started it.
All right, I'm going to
okay,
put you on ceiling mode for a minute.
Yeah,
and go into studio so I can
do this up here, because I'm
not used to the new program.
Yeah, and I can step over there for a second. If you got on ceiling, this is one of the bigger pieces that I'm going to be showing some base coats on this area and on some of the stonework. So I'll be mixing that up in a second. And if you go to that program, it's Lightroom.
Hold on 1 second. I'm
sure.
trying to deal with this. Hit the screen. Oh, it's because I already have that in there. That's why. Okay, well, let's try it with the new thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I need you to open it, so maybe if you click here, I don't know if it'll show us.
It should be right here. It was the.
I don't have it. I don't have it open right now. Yeah. So Lightroom Classic. Yep. And if you do that, and give it a second, and then over here there'll be an import button. Here. And then I think if you import that, it should be, when you saved it in the same directory Picard was, so it's probably already port in there. And then it's just catching up.
Oh. The stream just stopped on my device.
And then maybe you have to click in whatever the folder was. I don't know. Is it today? Yep. And then you can, it's checked and then import, and then And then if you switch to the one screen share images, I think that's the one that's double click on it, and then try it, and then click back again here. Click back here.
Where are the other images that were in there too?
I don't know. I don't know enough about how this is structured. If you import multiple ones, then they'll all be down below, and you can kind of toggle between them. But.
Well, they were in that. They said they'd already been imported.
Right, but I don't know enough about what's showing you the thumbnails at the bottom, because there's a way. Because there was one way where I did it and it showed everything that I'd ever imported.
Well, I automatically showed that one when I switched the folder.
Maybe now that it's imported, it recognizes it. If you could minimize what you have on my screen, because I can't see what's actually going out right now.
Yeah.
Like,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that is super cool. Oh, that is awesome. Dr. Tooth Molly Hatchet. That is, yeah. I need that as a T-shirt, I think.
That is really cool.
It is really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find whoever that did that and give him some credit, like on the Instagram or something, and do it. All right, could I switch it to a different camera now?
Yeah, hold on. I wanted to throw this Picard. So this is the Picard.
It's like the teaser trailer poster.
Yeah.
Teaser poster.
I just want to say movie poster. It's not a movie. But yeah, that from Picard, the new series Picard.
Yeah.
That we were talking about last time.
With number 1.
Yeah. Oh. And this is something really cool I found when we were looking at stuff the other day.
It was Loki.
It's called Loki and His Children. So you got Fenrir.
Yep.
I think it's Fenrir, the wolf, and I can't remember the name of the snake right now. It's like Jamonger or something like that.
It was his name.
It's not Ouroboros.
Filbert, I think.
Oh, Filbert.
Yeah, Filbert.
It's like Jamonga or something. But the detail on this thing, like they had some close-ups of it. And it was insane, the level of detail on this thing.
Yeah, that is. What is that? Wood?
Yeah.
Wood carving. That is neat.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
All right. Let me take off studio.
And if you look at that,
switch to whatever you want.
You look at the rocks behind there, Randy.
Yeah.
You notice how the rocks are dark and the mortar is light.
Yep.
If I switch to this, that's kind of what I want to try to do with this. And this is why I painted everything white, this cream color, so that the bricks got this cream recesses, and I'm going to try to do it darker over top of it. And this is one of those situations where I told you about why I can understand why people don't want the base first and dark, and why it's kind of counterintuitive. Here's an example of it, and I'll change this to the M50 so you can get a better look at it here. What I was talking about. All right. So yeah, you can see it here, right? You notice how in the crevices it's more white than it is like on the bricks.
Yeah.
And so that's why people don't want to paint. They don't want to prime a model dark, right? Because this was black underneath. And what happens is that when you paint like this, the recesses will actually have more pigment, and so it'll show a lighter color. So what you want is usually the opposite of that. But having that knowledge, I use it to my advantage this time. But nice. So does that kind of make sense why you could see then?
Yeah.
Why somebody would. Right. So yeah, and then also we've got of all the dry brushing we've done, we haven't done any of these XPS bricks that we've textured. And man, these are going to be fun when we actually do start to paint them. I painted these purple. I painted some of the other ones green. And I think that I'm going to put purple and green in the gray to make the gray just stand out a little bit differently from the other grays, if that makes sense. Follow me on that.
You put what in the gray? I didn't.
I'm going to put the lime and the coconut and shake it all up.
Awesome. Midnight margaritas.
It's no. I'm gonna use gray paint to put some like base coats on this, real heavy, and I think that to make it help separate from some of the other grays that we were using when we were doing the other dry brushing, I'll put some of the color in it, color in it, either purple or green depending on what the brick is. So, and that's what I'm going to be working on right now. My good friend. I said my good friend. Randy, I watched a crazy interesting movie the other day. It caught me off guard. It was it's called Booksmart, I believe.
Okay.
And it was a combination of movies, and I don't know if you've seen the movies. I think you've seen at least two of the three movies I'll compare it to. It was like Juno. You remember Juno?
I never watched it, but yeah.
Okay. So it was like Juno meets Superbad meets Lady Bird. Lady Bird had Saoirse in it.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that one either. I saw Superbad though.
I think her friend is actually in it. Her best friend, I think, and Lady Bird, I think, is actually in this Booksmart movie. But it's about two ladies like at a high school graduation party kind of scenario, and these girls are, I don't know, maybe that's titular moment is that they're
Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird, best friend Julie, played by Beanie Feldstein. Beanie, like you wear a beanie on your head.
Yeah, Steve Beanie is also in Booksmart, please. Oh, the lead in Booksmart. Well, they're kind of both, but I guess the other one's probably more the lead. She, or more the protagonist, I should say. Her frame really reminded me of Ellen Page. Isn't that who was in Juno? But it was really good, really, really funny, really smart, really, really enjoyable. Enjoyable. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna try to. Randy, I'm putting it on the whippy swappy as soon as I do a refresh.
So the first one first.
And then
Booksmart, Molly. Or Beanie.
is Beanie in that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, she's really good. She's good in both of those roles, but she plays a similar character on both of them. So now that we have that, we can do our swoopy swappies, I think. But we're going to start with
and Ellen Page and Juno. Yep.
Yeah, Ellen Page. She was really good in that. It's funny. Also in Juno was Jason Bateman, and Jason Bateman stars in part of and directs, I think, all of The Outsider, which is on HBO right now, and it's based off a Stephen King book, and it is really good. It's about I think we're maybe 5 episodes in.
What was that?
It's a show called The Outsider.
Oh, okay.
And Jason Bateman actually stars in part of it, and he directs, I think, all of it. And it's based on a Stephen King book that Carrie had listened to, and she was really excited about it coming out. And she's like, "Oh, I hope they don't ruin this. I hope they don't ruin this." And we've been enjoying it. It's only got 5 episodes out right now. I think the 5th episode came out on Sunday.
Jason Bateman always does a good job.
Yeah, he's. It's interesting. It's an interesting story. And it's kind of funny because it starts out kind of like it's just a weird like murder mystery, and then
so
like if you didn't know it was a Stephen King book, you'd watch the first 2 episodes, you'd be like, "Oh, this is just like a weird murder mystery."
This is 2 weeks in the life of a 14-year-old boy, Pony Boy Curtis, and his struggles with right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
And there's the greasers and
yeah. What's going to happen is, Randy, is that we're going to have to, when we leave here, I'm gonna go dye my hair. In the sink with some bleach, and then we're going to go visit Pony Boy in the hospital.
When we're on the run,
we're going to visit. Yeah, we're going to go visit
and then
Pony
I'll tell
Boy in
you
the
how
hospital.
Nature's first green is gold, or hardly shoot a hold, or early least a flower, but only so an hour.
And then we're going to remark about how young Tom Cruise looks, and remember when Patrick Swayze was still alive. Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay, I gotta get caught up on chat for a second here. JC's been chatting. Sorry, JC. He was talking about here. We'll do this out of sequence to get the Witcher TV show. He said that makes sense. That the show has been a hit. Now Witcher 3 has hit an all-time high of people playing the game. Yeah,
that makes sense too. Yeah, I bet you it's all feeding one number. The books are increasing the viewership.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want. That's when it works well, is when you can get all that working in tandem. So let me see.
And he said he watched a great movie the other day called Whiplash. It's about jazz.
Yeah, that drummer. Yeah, it's got the guy that's in the Allstate commercials. We know a lot because we've seen a lot. And he also plays J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man, one of the Spider-Man movies. It's that guy. Yeah, that is a good one. I actually own that. Carrie's brother is a drummer, and she's loves that sort of thing. That is good.
The other kid, he's been in a lot of stuff.
He was in I think the Divergent movies.
Yeah.
And he also, I think, was in that failed Fantastic Four movie that just recently came out. I think he may have played. He may have been Mr. Fantastic in that, actually.
Oh, really?
I think so. Haven't seen it.
I was thinking he probably played the brother or something.
The Human Torch character. He's typically blonde, but sometimes that doesn't matter. Because that's actually who Chris Evans played, who was Captain America. Yeah. Which is so funny.
Here we go. Miles Teller. Played Andrew in...
All right, let me see here. What kind of purples do we want? Gotta tell us some purples.
In Whiplash, his name was Andrew. Miles Teller. The older guy's name is...
I just quoted that the other day to Carrie.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah. And what's neat is they actually used him in... as J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man game. And also, I think he was J. Jonah Jameson in the the Miles Morales cartoon that they did in the movie theater. That was so good. the Spider-Verse one. All right. Here.
All right. Why is it not giving me this, guys?
Me mix some of this up. I may have too much purple.
That's bizarre.
What's that?
Ah, here we go. There we go. They always got to be changing how they organize everything.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? All right, mixing.
Apparently, he plays Maverick in Top Gun. The new one.
Oh, really? He's the new Maverick?
Apparently, according to this.
Yeah, this is way too much purple. All right.
Yep. He did play Reed Richards in Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Allegiant, Insurgent, Divergent.
Regurgent. Do you like what I did there, Randy? Because I was trying to make it like it was barf a joke.
Footloose.
I don't really like it. Oh,
he played Willard in the new Footloose.
Was Willard the Kevin Bacon?
I think it's the one that is his friend that he teaches.
Oh, okay, the cowboy hat guy in the original one.
I think so.
That would make.
Not certain.
Why do they have sticks up their butts? Who put these sticks up their butts? That would be a little Guardians of the Galaxy for you, Randy. Because they keep talking about the Footloose.
JC asked, "Wait, what? You've never read Dune?"
I've never read Dune. I have not.
I have not read it either.
And I'm familiar with the mini-series version from the Sci-Fi Channel. I've seen it several times, and
I like the original Dune.
Yeah, you like that one, which was done by a guy I hate, one of my least favorite directors, David Lynch. But I don't hate that movie. In fact, I purchased it. I need to watch it again. Had Sting in it.
Are they remaking it?
They should be. I don't know why they're not.
Or is this just a fan thing? A lot of times they'll be like imagining a remake.
There was supposed to be
this character should play this actor should play this character, and they'll make a little video about it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm seeing what looks to be Timothée Chalamet, who I imagine would be playing the main character. On this, it's just a little video here. I don't know. JC said you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, his lunch is over, so he's got to go.
Oh, right on,
great
brother.
Stream. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, man. We appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Just even what I've listened to so far is like, Arrakis, dude. So like, it's kind of the way that it's like you need to see like where they pull stuff from from the thing that you've seen. Like that's where you got that. Yeah, it starts out very similar. It's like the miniseries. It's like Arrakis, dude. And Paul was just getting to the part where he's got for Fear is the Mind Killer.
Yeah, I've used that a lot.
Yeah.
Fear is the Mind Killer. You love that one too.
Yep.
No, I always I'm like,
there's a longer
Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah. What I loved, and I don't know, did you see the Children of Dune miniseries they did on the site?
Yes. You did not like it.
I was very disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Because I really liked...
I liked it better than I liked the new Dune.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oof.
I like the Children of Dune better than I like the new Dune. Because I prefer the original Dune.
Yeah.
And I'd not seen anything like Children of the Dune. So there were elements of Children of the Dune that...
Yeah, I didn't like how they changed the daughter character, because she's like this weirdo thing that shouldn't be, that like...
Yeah, it's just like an abomination because...
She's seen all of time, and then when she grows up, they made her into like pretty ninja girl. We're like, what?
Which is fine, but it didn't have anything to do with the way she looked. It was like that she goes crazy, which is why it's expected, and it's why it was forbidden for what happened to happen.
Right.
But it's unfortunate, but it is an interesting plot point.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see, like, after I get done with this, like, I might be interested in reading the source material, because I bet you I'd be interested in the source way more. All right, I'm not sure if this has got too much purple on it or not, but we're gonna give it a go and see.
Yeah, Dune is an upcoming 2020 American epic science fiction film directed by Denis Villeneuve. Screenplay by Eric Roth, John Spates, and Villeneuve. First of a planned two-part adaptation of the 1965 novel of the same name by Frank Herbert. Cover roughly the first half of the book.
Cool.
Ensemble cast including Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin. Stellan Skarsgård.
There was supposed to be
David Bautista.
David Baptista. I think that's
yeah.
Why do they have the sticks up their butt?
Zendaya. They've been in a lot of stuff lately. And some other people.
There was
Jason Momoa is supposed to be in it too.
Oh, okay. There's a really famous actor who was going to do Dune, and it was going to be super trippy. And I can't remember who it was. I have to look into that. Man, that's going to bug me. And there's apparently a documentary about it that I was interested in watching that explores like what that Dune could have been. And I was like, man, that would have been creepy and weirdo and neat. But anyways, all right. I think this is going to be a little bit more gray here. So let me try to...
Miniseries.
All right.
And James McAvoy was in Children of Dune. He's kind of the main character.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he was, and I didn't.
I thought he did really good.
Yeah, and again, it's not him. It's the. I don't think I like the way that they changed his character, Muad'Dib's character. Kind of reminded me.
Well, he wasn't. Well,
kind of reminds me how they changed Ender in the Ender saga, but.
Huh. What was that? It's your phone?
Affirmative. I accidentally picked it up. Just trying to. Here we go. Yeah, this is gonna work. So this is. I'm putting gray on here, but it's got a lot of purple in it. But it'll get muted with the washes.
So the original Dune movie,
yeah,
by David Lynch. Produced by Rafaela De Laurentiis.
Yeah, I don't like David Lynch.
Based on Dune by Frank Herbert. And Kyle MacLachlan was the main character.
Yep, Sting was in it.
Yeah, he was the
Gordon Shumway or something like that. Gordon Sumner is his
Gordon Shumway.
Gordon Shumway is Alf, right?
Yeah. Patrick Stewart was in it. Was in the original.
Yeah, it was one of the first things that he was in. That and Excalibur. He was also in Excalibur.
I think he's the one who was. He said something like he showed up He wasn't supposed to be in it. Like there was a mistake or something. They thought it was a different actor or something, and ended up being him. And he was like, "Oh well, it's too late now" or something.
Oh, that Patrick Stewart. I thought you meant. Sorry, yeah, that was me. I thought you meant somebody else. We thought you meant that other guy.
Holy crap! There's a young picture of Dean Stockwell. Look at this. Can you see that? He looks like James Dean.
Who is that?
Dean Stockwell, a very young Dean Stockwell.
I don't know who Dean Stockwell is.
You would if you saw an older picture of him.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Was it? What was it? That's not right. We just talked about this the other day. The series.
TV or movie?
Scott Bakula.
Oh, Quantum Leap?
Yeah, Quantum Leap.
Oh, okay. So is he he's not Scott Bakula, he's the other guy.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is funny when you see some of those guys. It was like you were showing me pictures because it was, when is National Ukulele Day, Randy?
Let's see the date on that. Is it maybe today? Let's see.
Is it coming up or is it past?
I'm checking.
Okay.
It depends which
whose calendar?
Which calendar?
If you're going Mayan or not. Mayan or urine.
There's a dateandtime.com or time and date.com and holidaycalendar.com and whatever.
I don't know where you get your information from.
I just told you. They vary on their dates on some things. So Player Ukulele Day was the 2nd, actually.
The 2nd. So you were talking about Tiny Tim and because of that, because he was one of the more famous.
All right, that's it.
I think it has associations with Hawaiian music. But my understanding, basically, Randy, is it's like a 4-string guitar. So people will play, like, chords on it. A really proficient ukulele player, who I enjoyed listening to, is George Harrison. He was fond of the ukulele. And actually, when I saw Paul McCartney play, he played a George Harrison song on a ukulele that George had given him. I found that to be touching.
Ukulele is actually from Hawaiian.
Oh, is it? Is that its origin is Hawaiian? Probably then?
The name, at least.
Yeah.
Member of the guitar family of instruments. Generally employs 4 nylon strings. Originated in the 19th century as a Hawaiian adaptation of the Portuguese.
I'm wondering if the tuning, if it's tuned the same way that like a bass is.
Say what now?
I'm wondering the tuning. Is it EADG? Is the typical tuning?
It probably says here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. I could ask the computer too.
Types and sizes, instructions. Okay. So there's different sizes and popular tunings of standard ukulele types.
Okay.
So you got the types are pocket, soprano, concert, tenor, baritone, bass, and contrabass.
Okay.
Alternate names for each of them. Varying length from 16 to 32 inches. Scale length varies from 11 inches to 21 inches. Frets varies from 10 to 12 to 16. Range is from G4 to E6 to E1 to B3. There you go. Common tuning for a pocket size is D5, G4, B4, E5. And they all have alternate tunings as well.
Huh. I'm not exactly sure what that means. It could, because I'm not certain if it means that each of the strings are tuned to a unique string or not. Like as I'm playing with like Rocksmith, one of the more common tunings the most common is E standard. It's just where it's E, A, D, G, B, E, or what the strings are tuned to. But I'm finding another common one is E flat, where it's that same thing. Everything's just down tune a half step. But then I think that you can also then just leave everything the same, but just tune one of the strings. And I think like a drop D, I think might be like that, where all the other strings, but you drop the D string.
This says tuning. One of the most common tunings for the standard or soprano ukulele is C6 tuning, which is G4, C4, E4, and A4, which is often remembered by the notes in the My Dog Has Fleas jingle, C sidebar.
Huh.
G string is tuned an octave higher than might be expected, so this is often called high G tuning. This is known as a reentrant tuning. Enables uniquely close harmony chording. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, so it sounds that is the case. It's a little slightly unique tuning.
So yesterday was chocolate fondue day. So in conjunction with today's or tomorrow's work naked day, merging those two together,
hold on. Let me savor this. You're saying that you're going to combine chocolate fondue and work naked day?
Yeah.
Hope that you're wearing protective gear.
And then I think the other calendar says that there's a shower with a friend day, so we can do that.
I was going to say, I hope it's not bugger your friend day, because we're about ready to bring a halt to this little segment in the show. Are you looking to see if there is a?
There definitely is. I'm just seeing what day it is. It's on the other calendar. Let's see. Obscure holiday.
It's February 2nd.
National. Nope, that's not it.
Randy, there's a day, you know Groundhog's Day, right?
Yeah.
There's a day that's similar but completely different. That's called Prairie Dog Day, and that's where they bring awareness to constipation issues.
Did you see the movie Rat Race? That's the first time I heard that term for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's was it John Lovitz is the father of one of the families, or of the family maybe, in the movie, and he's driving a van and his kids are in the back, and the daughter says that he's trying to get him to pull over, but he won't because they're in the race, and I don't think he's told the family that he's doing this race.
Oh, okay. So they don't understand,
because they're trying to get money, the jackpot at the end, and so they have no idea what's going on and why he won't pull over. So she's like begging for him to pull over, and he won't. He says, "Roll down the window," and she says that she's prairie dogging.
That's funny.
He's like, "What?" And then they explain it.
And then his world gets a little brighter. His understanding of the world is forever changed.
Oh, National Shower with a Friend Day. This is just from a Google search. February 5th, according to this. Held annually on February 5th, winter is the coldest and loneliest season of the year, with dwindling daylight and Valentine's Day at its heart. February can often leave people feeling dejected and somber. Shower with a Friend Day.
Vigorous with the dry brushing here, Randy. Computer, what time is it? computer.
It is 3 till 1.
Okay.
3.1 is a real number that is equal to 31/10.
Computer, stop.
Computer, enough of your bow. This will be interesting to see how this comes out on the inside.
Tuesday was National Hemp Day, according to this.
Huh.
And National Thank a Mail Carrier Day.
National Thank Your Mail Carrier?
Yeah.
Can you thank your female carrier?
Not the type of mail, JB.
What's that?
Not that type of mail, JB.
Oh.
The other type of mail. Tuesday was also National Create a Vacuum Day, so
You know,
there you go. Done and dusted.
I have a
You're
hard
welcome.
time with some of these things where you do blanket, like, remember your such and such thing. Because they do that at, like, you know, the sporting events, right? And they recognize the military. And, you know, I realize that the military's got tough jobs, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know that dude isn't, like, a monster. And I don't mean because he's in the military.
yeah.
I mean just because he's a stranger that I don't know, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I just always wonder, it's like, what if this dude's, like, you know,
Yeah, you don't know.
got some
because,
horrible
like,
secrets. Here we are applauding you, and you've got somebody, like, locked in your basement or something.
There
you know?
was something recently in the news about Trump going against the head of the Navy or Armed Forces. I'm not sure exactly. And overturning, letting somebody go that was convicted by the head of that military branch. And his entire Navy SEAL team was like, this guy is a monster.
Yeah, but I want it.
So you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You just don't know who people are behind closed doors. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a local news guy that got busted for, like, pedophilia or some stuff like that, or is accused of it, I should say. You know, and
Yeah, who was that? That's crazy.
I don't want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah. And it's, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Whether I don't know whether he is or he isn't. But it's just like, you just don't know. You don't know what. So I always feel weird. It's like, I don't know you, and when I'm, like, supposed to, like, celebrate a stranger, it just makes me feel really weird. But I guess it isn't any other stranger that, you know, you're celebrating the people that are catching passes or making shots or doing whatever. So.
Tomorrow is National Periodic Table Day. Hey, M15.
Yep, thank you. It's kind of cooperating today, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, he was able to have a full run of the Swippy Swap in it. Let's see here.
All right. Let's see. How you doing there, bro?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm just doing a little focus here on the M50. I'll since we're halfway through, correct? I'm gonna take a quick pause to get myself a beverage here, and I did have something brief for today's mental health minute, unless there was something else that you had, Randy.
No, I don't really have anything.
So there was a lyric that I heard from. And this is from Tedeschi Trucks, who we had talked about earlier today when we were prepping for the show. I was mentioning that I actually was lucky enough to see Tedeschi Trucks at Red Rock, which is an amazing venue. If you can see anybody at Red Rock, do so in Colorado. And there was a lyric, and it says, "Wherever I go, here I am." And it made me think about, like, you know, of all the things that you change in your life, if you're not changing you, you know, you're never getting away from yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure exactly if that's what the intent of the lyric was or not, but I enjoy thinking of it that way, that, you know, no matter where I go, here I am. And so you better be spending some time. I better be spending some time with me, because I'm the one who I'm stuck with all the time. So I think it's worthwhile when you talk about where to put efforts. You are worth it. Each and every person is you are you. And you got to look out for you, and you got to take care of you. And that doesn't mean, you know, selling everybody else out, but
yeah, it just goes back to that thing, like, you can't properly take care of somebody else unless you've taken care of yourself properly, you know.
Yep. And then ultimately that responsibility is on you.
And just, it's not healthy to constantly be doing everything for everybody else and nothing for yourself.
That's true too.
It's detrimental to yourself, and then you end up not serving others either.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, you know, and you have a different opinion about it. You know, I don't believe really that in unselfish acts. I think that there's selfish acts which include other people, and more so than others. But I think that everything that we do is basically either to avoid bad feelings or to get good feelings. It's pretty much one or the other. However, that being said, actually there was a point to that I think I lost.
Yeah, and that is something I disagree with.
What's that?
That is, we do have differing viewpoints on that.
Yeah, no, and I respect that, but even with that, there was a point that I wanted to mention. Martyr complex. That, you know, man, I can't stand people with martyr complexes, and you see that a lot. And I think that the martyr complex is, like, everybody's personality is how you're dealing with your insecurities, in my opinion. And that one's an interesting one. I think it's such a blind one, right? The martyr complex. Randy?
Sorry, what was the statement you just made?
Talking about the martyr complex.
Yeah, the last couple words.
Just that I think that, you know, everybody's personality has to do with how we are handling or mishandling our insecurities, and the martyr complex is an interesting example of that, because I think it's one of the ones where you're more blind to it. About
yeah, and I thought about this before. Is like, I'm not exactly sure specifically what the martyr complex entails.
Okay.
Well, and like, there's an idea of it, but I'm not sure that actually is what it technically is.
Sure.
So,
yeah, and I mean, I could be using it incorrectly.
Yeah.
The way that I'm referred to it is just basically making yourself a martyr. So it's just like my kids, you know, they don't talk to me anymore, and I'm going to do this thing, but nobody's going to appreciate it. And that, you know, it's just like the world is out to get you, and everything is, you know, it's you. You are the martyr. You're making yourself out to be the martyr in the situation. You are falling on the sword, and I'm going to do this, but, you know, it's okay. You know, those are all martyr.
Yeah.
That's all martyr behavior.
So, yeah, I think it's that confusion too, because martyr, I think, is specifically like someone who dies in, like Jesus Christ on the cross, like somebody who died.
Sure, yeah, that is there is no more
in order to save someone else, basically.
Yes,
that's my specific.
You also hear it done that if a person in a cause, like, you won't assassinate a person for a cause because you end up making him a martyr of the cause. So I think it's somebody that dies in the purpose of a cause.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be self-sacrifice, but it's somebody whose life was given.
So I think there's some variance here. It looks like, according to, I hate it when it doesn't tell you where it's pulling it from. Hold on. Oh, okay. At the bottom it says from Oxford. Martyr, a person who is killed because of their religious or other beliefs. A person who displays or exaggerates their discomfort or distress in order to obtain sympathy or admiration. That's more what you're talking about right there.
Yep.
So it's not even necessarily that they're not necessarily really
the martyr thing is a metaphor,
but they are
they are
like they are for sympathy or admiration.
Yeah. And that's, I think, is part and parcel of it, is like you're making yourself out to be a martyr. You're acting like you're Jesus Christ on the cross when you know.
And you're really not doing anything. Is the
right. You may not even be doing anything. Yeah.
So, that's such a varied. So don't be a martyr is like, martyr is potentially a good thing, but like, at the same time, you're using it to mean something like the person is acting like
I think contextually
really
the number of times where those have been caused a mix-up of any substance is probably very rare.
This says, let's see, also a constant sufferer from an ailment.
Although that is a comic
strip. I'm a martyr to migraines.
Say that again.
I'm a martyr to migraines.
Yeah.
It can mean that, and that's okay. That's a proper use of it, apparently, which doesn't make any sense for how I think it should be used and how I think it's.
No, I don't understand that at all.
It says a constant sufferer from an ailment is a martyr.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I'm not used to anybody using it in that context.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard it used that way before.
But your thing though,
to martyr someone.
It brought up a point, the earlier one. That's why I'm trying to walk on you. Is I don't want to forget the thing that you said earlier about the mix-up. It would make a good cartoon of the thief on the cross next to Jesus, and he says, "Hey, stop being such a martyr."
That seems like an old, the type of cartoons that
like the New Yorker style.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I was thinking. I have one that I have on my fridge that I drew, and it's of a lobster. And he says, sometimes I think I'm being too shellfish.
What was that?
It's a lobster.
Yeah.
And he says, sometimes I think I'm being too shellfish.
Mm.
And then I have another one that's of a cow, and he's got his arms kind of up in the air, and it says, "Who moo?" Who moo?
I think that was funny.
Thank you.
I need a T-shirt that says that.
I've always wanted to do put it on a coffee mug or something.
Actually, that my niece and my nephew's fiance as well loves cows. So that'd be a great T-shirt for them.
Yeah, we could make that happen easy enough, because when you have your original artwork, it's easy to put it on a shirt these days. Oh, I think I.
What have you done?
Really?
What did you do?
Nothing. I think we're okay.
JB.
I thought I accidentally hit the stream end button.
Oh, JB.
I thought I just.
It looks like we're okay.
Yeah.
Put some tape over that button.
Yeah, I might need to.
The M50 just crapped
out. I did see that. Thank you.
Okay, so we got some definitions for martyr, and then martyr complex specifically, according to, looks like this is a snippet from Wikipedia. In psychology, a person who has a martyr complex, sometimes associated with the term victim complex, desires the feelings of being a martyr for their own sake, seeking out suffering or persecution because it either feeds a psychological need or desire to avoid responsibility. Ooh, that's complex.
It is a complex. They tell you that right at the beginning.
It says right there it's complex.
It's not martyr simple.
It's a complex.
It's a simple complex.
It's not a simple complex. It's a complex.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time with this. All right. Doing the same thing.
Yeah, so the form which you are specifically referencing is a person who displays or exaggerates their discomfort or distress in order to obtain sympathy or admiration.
Yes. Thank you for that. That is definitely the route that I was trying to go. And it just, I think what I do find is it's one of the more blind, it reveals a real blindness to yourself to do that. And we all have that blindness, but man, I think to me it's one of the stronger
I think there's
examples of it.
I'm getting that there's extremely various levels of
yes,
as well.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because on some level, there's that thing that I think they call it the Munchausen syndrome, which may or may not exist. Didn't we talk about that in one of the other podcasts? Munchausen syndrome?
We've talked about it before.
And I think
I can never remember how to spell it.
The Munchausen, and the one that I was referring to is when it's like somebody fakes that they have a sick kid.
Oops! What in the world?
And that's kind of rather insidious.
What in the heck is all this? I put in Munchausen and it brings up, like it added something onto the end, and it's bringing up all like these data tables and charts and stuff for logistics.
For what?
Logistics service. Wow, I don't even know what any of that is. Frequency, recency of profit, and sequential. Okay. Huh.
You gotta diversify your bombs.
There we go. Okay, so I put in Munchausen syndrome like it sounds, and it said, "Do you mean?" and spelled it differently. I'm like, oh, okay, it must be spelled that way. So I clicked on that, and it brings it up spelled closer to the way that I had spelled it rather than the way that it said, "Do you mean?"
Do you mean this? Probably, because I don't know what I'm doing. No, I was just kidding. You had it right. You had it right the whole time. I was just goofing on you there. Gotcha.
So this says Munchausen syndrome is a fictitious disorder, a mental disorder in which a person repeatedly and deliberately acts as if he or she has a physical or mental illness when he or she is not really sick. Munchausen syndrome is considered a mental illness because it is associated with severe emotional difficulties. Now, let's see. Deliberately acts. There's that. So there is something else.
You all right?
Is that Cooper?
Yeah.
What's the matter, buddy?
What's up? I think he's sleeping and maybe just got startled.
Yeah.
I'll open the door.
Thing bite you on the booty?
Do you want to go out? Oh, I think something fell. Yeah, I had a little paper roll over here. And I think
a little spook.
Yeah, that's got a little scale. That's all. Well, good. So you were saying with the Munchausen?
I was saying with the Munchausen. As to what I was saying with the Munchausen, I don't know.
You were saying that.
That there's something more. Something's kind of related, maybe that's different, perhaps. Okay. That deals with like deliberately causing illness in yourself or your children, to get attention.
Yeah.
And there's like people who have faked their children having cancer.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought it was. That's what I think of with Munchausen.
Or attention.
But that's not Munchausen syndrome?
If this is saying specifically that it's
you. You're thinking that you are the one who
deliberately acts as if you would basically have a physical or mental illness, but you're not really sick at all.
It's a Terry Gilliam film, is Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. I need to watch that again. I haven't seen that in a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah. And then there's another one where people actually like will cut off their own limbs and things.
That's freaky. I saw a thing about that. I saw a documentary on that.
Yeah. There's a woman, I think it was a woman, who like got a bunch of dry ice or something.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
And packed it in her car around her legs and sat there in the
so that they'll have to amputate them
of the emergency room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that they would have to amputate her legs.
Yep. That's not uncommon for people, I guess, with that they'll retaliate to doing that. But they feel that the limb is not a part of their body.
So it's kind of like,
and they need to have it to be removed. That there's something wrong with it. It needs to be.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, oof, man, what is?
Yeah, it's just like they feel like they're not supposed to have them. Like they feel like it's like they don't feel right with them, or they're just in it for attention, or I don't know what the basis is, but
That's why, you know,
some
like
crazy stuff.
Like,
That's
you know,
some scary.
where people talk about, like, you know, gender issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you're choosing to be like, man, it's like people put their limbs in dry ice because they feel like it shouldn't be. The human condition is so complex.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really? And it's like, you can't, you don't see that.
Hey, Rick, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Richie.
He said, looking good.
Thanks.
Looking cool.
Thanks. We're
the M50 needs
oh
a little love in
yeah,
here.
thank you.
Now that you gave it some attention, it's going to be a martyr.
Yeah, no, it's no, it's letting me, Randy.
Oh, now
I
you're going to
could
be a
make this
martyr.
work
Oh,
if
God.
I didn't have the.
Oh, God, here we go.
It's okay though. No, I could replace the camera.
Oh, I'm feeling some Munchausen coming on.
Maybe we could get people to raise money so we could. We hope that Richie's having a good day. We thank him for hopping in and saying hi. All right, keep going, Andy. It's neat as we're moving on here. With these pieces to see each step that you do, it seems like most of them take a little less time than the one previous, Randy. So it's like you can go through so much. Like last time, we dry brushed so much stuff after we had done the ink wash step, and
you get used to it, get into a groove, get over your anxiety of your first attempts at it.
Yeah, but it's just like, oh man, you know, you're just kind of thinking like, I'm gonna be doing this forever. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna be doing this stage forever. That is for sure. This stage is gonna. It's not gonna take forever. I need to hit this from some different angles here, I think.
Did you have something that you wanted to speak about on the show notes today?
Let me take a look here. So we're good there. We're good there. We're good there. We're good there. So stop. If you could scroll up to the top there, right there. So we talked about Smoothie Q Breeze. Yeah, there's something I want to talk about with that. But the one thing that I can talk about is Alan Watts. You know, I have been paying more and more attention to him. And he is described, I think he described himself as a spiritual entertainer.
I can't remember. We talked about this. I can't remember if you mentioned it on the stream or not.
Well, then there was something I mentioned to you upstairs that I definitely wanted to mention on here. And he had used a term that he said that worry was an infinitely skinned onion. And that you can just keep pulling the layers. And as you take off one layer, it'll be replaced with another one. And if you're worried about, this person, is mad at me, and if you have worry, it doesn't matter what you're worrying about, right? It's that you need to have this condition of worry in your life, and that if you replace, you fix that thing. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Well, you get a good job, and now you can pay your bills. Well, I'm worried now about my health, and your health is fine. Well, I'm worried about, you have an existential crisis or something, and it's like you're always going to be finding something to worry about. And it's funny, I'm starting to see this more and more with some people, that the worry is just, their default condition. And it's like, and especially when you're worrying about something that you have absolutely no control over, right?
Yeah.
And
potentially, some of that stuff is wired, I think, to your primal survival instinct to like make sure that everything is okay.
Yeah.
And try to, I got to make sure that I have enough food to get through the winter, kind of thing. I got to make sure that I have enough wood to keep warm on this cold night, all that stuff. Gotta make sure that nobody's coming in here and stealing whatever. But is not necessarily with how secure we are, like all those things that primally we would have to worry about, that in today's society we no longer really have to deal with.
Yeah.
That it gets turned to all these other things that it don't really need that sort of level of attention.
Right. And then it seems like that's a lot of like anxiety issues, right? That it's this kind of evolutionary kind of misfire, that you think that you're in some sort of physical danger. Your body's reacting as if you're in physical danger when you're not. And that can be a step to help you in those moments. It's like, I'm physically fine. My body's reacting as if I'm, in mortal danger. I'm not in mortal danger. I'm just freaking out. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting about worry, and it's like if you're worrying about something, ask yourself: am I wanting the worry, or am I actually wanting a resolution?
Yeah. And that's all. That comes back to like make sure you're trying to be cognizant of that and examine it and get back to the root cause. Not just treat a symptom with a Band-Aid. Like,
There's something, one of the parts about, talking about mental issues is to help, normalize those. And, and along that course, we've talked about, taking medication, and I'm definitely pro that if that is something that a person needs. I don't think everybody does need it, but if you do, I'm absolutely 100% behind it. And there was one thing that I was watching Russell Brand talk about, who I would consider and also a spiritual entertainer these days, and he was saying
he's done like a complete 180.
yeah, and he was brought up a good point about like anxiety, and it's just like there probably is something at the core of your anxiety.
Yeah.
And, even if you're having a wrong reaction to it, doesn't mean that there isn't something there that needs to be looked at and examined. And, I do agree with that, that these things are not a substitute for the work that you need to do on the inside at all. And I thought that was a good reminder that it's not all or one, right? And like we talked about with some conditions, that it's almost always it's not purely genetic, it's not purely environmental, it's a combination of those things. Let me see here. I'm trying to get into the recesses of this. I think I might just do this standing up. Let's see if we got ceiling action. Put my hoodie on. My hoodie from Sam Goody. Actually, not from Sam Goody. We're not endorsed by Sam Goody. I don't know why I said that, Randy.
To try to get an endorsement from Sam Goody?
I don't think Sam Goody even exists anymore.
I have no idea.
I think it probably went the way of Camelot Music and Blockbuster and Borders bookstores and all of that stuff. Computer, what time is it?
It's 1:25 p.m.
1:25. All right. So we still got some time here, Randy. So there was another thing too that I was thinking about, Randy, but I would need you actively to participate in this conversation.
Yep. Give me a second. I want to throw up this image of Aaron Munchausen.
Oh yeah.
So I put you in studio mode for a second.
Robin Williams played Munchausen, I think, in the movie.
Oh, that's right. You
right?
Use the new thing. Who did? Put down?
I think that Robin Williams played Munchausen.
It is. Oh, I just had it up.
Nope. Or maybe not. He didn't play Munchausen, no. He played somebody that encounters Munchausen.
It was the director was Terry Gilliam.
Yep.
Who
we love.
Which he was also a co-writer on it.
Okay.
Charles McKeown was the other co-writer.
Randy,
John Neville.
Can you switch to a different angle? You got me on a stuck in 50.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Where's it? John Neville.
Okay.
Looks like he was Baron Munchausen.
Yeah, because I remember he had a handlebar mustache.
Hieronymus Karl Friedrich Baron von Munchausen.
Hieronymus, who we had mentioned the other day. Hieronymus Bosch.
Jonathan Price, Eric Idle, person. Uma Thurman.
She plays Venus.
Venus/Rose.
See that that scene of Venus in the clamshell?
Yeah.
They depict that scene. She's Venus in that.
What was that game that we played that one night on when we still had game night? Where you had cards with pictures on them, and the goal was
Dixit?
to try. What is it?
Dixit.
I think so. One of those was that. I think that was the one that secured my win.
Oh, was it?
Was the image of that, except that Venus was not in her shell, and there were footprints along the beach. So it's like, I can't remember what the title is. It Aphrodite or Venus? That's the actual.
I think it's Venus. Aphrodite, the story of Aphrodite. Well,
they're the same person. I'm just what that painting is called.
Yeah, I think it's Venus and something.
So whichever one it was, I can't think right now. But I used the opposite. So if it's Venus, I used Aphrodite. If it was Aphrodite, Venus. And I said on vacation. I think I said Venus on vacation was my clue. So I was like, yeah,
that's
Goosey
good.
Got it. Yay.
That's a fun game. I'm looking. I keep my eye open at the half price to try to find, because there's different versions of them.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always trying to keep my eye out because they're really cool. I'd enjoy that game. It's a fun game. And to anybody that's listening that's not familiar with it, Dixit, it's a game, and I think that word, it's a French. The game might be French, but it doesn't matter because it's all just deals with artwork. And you have these cards, and what you have to do is you have to try to get people to guess your card, and you give clues, but the clues can't be too obvious, because if everybody guesses it, then you don't get any points at all. And so you have to make it so that some people will get it, at least one person, but not everybody. And that's what your goal is. So you're trying to come up with terms and ways to describe things. And you have to give a clue, but that clue could be anything. It could be a hand action, it could be a word, it could be a sentence, it could be a performance, right? It could be anything. And it has a real neat way of checking, balancing itself, and giving you a chance to really come up with some interesting things. And so what happens is that once you say, I would have this thing, and like Randy's thing was, Venus on vacation, right? And so everybody then who isn't, say, Randy, puts up a card that they think would best also indicate that, to try to throw somebody off the trail and see if they can get somebody. And then everybody takes a turn. Everybody tries to guess who had the right card. And if you get people to guess yours, so if it was Venus on vacation, and I had, I don't know, maybe somebody was thinking about it as a planet, right? I was playing with it as Venus as a planet, and so I had something that had to do with planets, and somebody didn't know what Randy's reference was. They might say, well, I picked this one because it was like a planet, and you'll get people that say, I didn't know, so I picked this one because it had this, and so it does create for a lot of fun scenarios.
The painting is called The Birth of Venus.
The Birth of Venus. Yeah, and The Birth of Aphrodite is actually
Sandro Botticelli.
No, that's Athena, I think. I think Athena was the one that came from Zeus's head, right? Zeus had the headache, and they split it open, and Athena came out. Or what? Isn't there also one where he throws his gonad into the sea? And
probably.
For some reason, I was thinking that.
Do you want me to do a Google search for gonad in sea and see what comes? Hold on, let me put on.
Yeah, let's look for what the origin was.
Let me put on privacy mode.
Look up the origin of Athena and Aphrodite.
Aphrodite is Neptune's daughter. Was born of the sea.
Who is?
Aphrodite.
Oh, really? That's Neptune's daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be born from the sea.
I didn't realize that.
I
should. I'm sure I was taught it, but I had forgotten it. Okay, let me.
Aphrodite, ancient Greek goddess of sexual love and beauty. identified with Venus by the Romans. The Greek word aphros means foam, and Hesiod relates in his Theogony that Aphrodite was born from the white foam produced by the severed genitals of Uranus, heaven, and his son Cronus threw them into the sea. But let's see.
Like you do.
Well, yeah, as one does.
I should not have taken these. What am I going to do with them? See here. And the bad thing was that the tide was such that it just kept rolling in. You know, it wasn't taking it away.
So, and then you run into issues with a lot of the stuff they have different parentage. There's different versions on the genealogies. Let's see.
Because they didn't have paternity tests back then.
Yeah. All the gods were such whores. They were sleeping around with everything and everyone and everything. So
they were too. It was like an old age home.
Once, after post Viagra.
Yeah, post Viagra. Post little blue pill.
With Cronus. Yeah, so this is a different one than what I've learned.
You still looking up some stuff?
Yeah, there's so much varied stuff on this. This one says for Athena, aka Minerva. The goddess of war and wisdom had a strange birth. Her father Zeus, also known as Jupiter, had swallowed his pregnant consort, Metis, wisdom, because he was afraid she would bear a son who would overthrow him. Then he developed a severe headache that nothing would cure. So Hephaestus, god of fire and blacksmiths, took an axe and split open Zeus's head. An approach not recommended for the milder forms of headache and migraine.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Please consult a doctor. Head does not heal within.
We don't endorse trepanning for minor headaches.
Unless you're a deity. I mean, it's okay if you're a deity.
Let's see. Out sprang Athena, fully grown, beautiful young woman in full armor and carrying a spear, announcing her arrival with a loud war cry.
Arr! Erg, arg.
The manner of her birth allegorically defines her basic nature. Having arisen from the head of a god, she is wise. Being born from a male and not from a female, she maintains a special bond of affection with her father, protects male heroes, and champions male causes. She is a powerful goddess of war and has remained a virgin. How unusual for a Greco-Roman god.
What's that?
To remain a virgin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really? She's a...
Well, according to those.
Well.
I don't know. When was this article written?
Said father to many, married to none.
Let's see. You'll check the date on this article. See if it's...
That's right.
What the ACBC situation is. ADBC situation. Alrighty. What else are we dealing with here?
All right, so we got that.
Oh, Dixit. Dixit is, I would say by the names of the people that created it, definitely French.
Jardin Locomotive, and I think it's also Peter
Jean-Louis Rubiera and Marie Cadouin.
Cadouin.
And published by Le Bellu. So Dixit is a Latin word for he, she, it, said.
Huh. That's what she said? Is that Dixit is the original? That's what she said?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
Right,
Dixit, that's what she said. What? No, really.
Did I add that yet? I love that picture of Dr. Teeth.
Yeah, I do too, man. That is an amazing find. I would definitely I want a shirt of that, a poster or something. I have an old shirt. I think I may have finally retired it. It was Electric Mayhem, which is the name of his band. It's like a tour short, like a concert tee.
All right, I'm putting you in studio mode so I can try this.
Yeah, sure. Good.
Oh wait, you want me to use the brick? I don't remember. Did you have a specific scene that we needed to use for that, or was it
for
the new program?
Yeah, there's
Lightroom.
one. Yep. It's probably, I think it's like the 4th or 5th one down. It says like with image share or something like that. 4th or 5th one down from the top.
Oh, screen share images. JPK. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Put you back on. There we go. Put you in studio mode. Can you make sure that the auto switch is off, please?
It is. Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Let's see here. All right. This big piece has got some love in. Waiting for some lemon.
There we go.
We're going to do dry brushing on these pieces.
Oops.
I think these are the only ones that got the big stuff, and then the rest of it's going to be the XPS bricks. That'll be green on everything. But I'm going to need to use a smaller brush for this.
I wonder if there's a way to get it so the background doesn't show. Let's see, medium gray. Oh, well, you can change the color.
Just make it black. And then that'll blend in if you don't have anything else showing.
Dark gray.
Eat enough beforehand. I want it to be croissant day again. Even though you gave me a croissant earlier.
Croissant. I know, I want another one too. Oh, I have some chocolate Timbits too.
Oh, okay. Chocolate Timbits to the rescue.
I'll give you some here in a second.
I had a bunch of the...
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share this.
I threw that brush in the trash, Randy.
Oh, yeah, gave up.
Yeah, you can see.
Hold on, I'm showing the... Yeah. Wait, that's not to scale. Why is it not scaling properly? That's the whole point of this.
Why is it not scaling? Maybe.
I don't know.
How's it not scaling?
It's cutting off the top and bottom.
You could extend this.
Oh, that doesn't work.
You use it with the Alt key.
Huh.
I have the window cut, and maybe Alt on the border to extend the border and shrink the border, and it'll crop it. So you need to expand it.
That's as big as it gets, apparently.
Which window are you on? You're on the M50. You're not on the thing. You're just in the M50. You need to click on this element to adjust that element.
I see what you're saying.
And it also is on top, but
although it's still okay, that's still not right. Let's see. Try this one. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's
And
not supposed to have to do this with a new program.
You gotta resize this down a little bit because I think it's past your maximum viewing area.
How annoying. No?
Alrighty.
All right, well, I'm back to studio mode, so I can work on that all.
Yeah, I mean, what the thing is, I didn't want it to, I have you sharing a program, right? And I didn't want to share the entire program, so I had cropped what I thought was the workable section. The pictures I used, maybe that one's bigger or something, and so I might have been chopping out the top and the bottom, and then also the window that you're showing, it looks like it's cutting off some of it just because of the viewing area.
What did it also
So
have to do with?
You
Like
have
if
to-
I have to go back and double click
No.
on it again within here and see. Nope, that made it worse.
Yeah, so double click on it there, right? Now come here. Now what?
Yeah.
Shrink it.
Wait, it looks like it might have done it that time. Yeah, it's good that time.
Yeah. What you
Yeah,
need
it's
to do
still
is
cutting
you
off
need to
the bottom
shrink
a
the
little bit.
canvas and then extend the parts that I had cropped off.
Yeah, I did. And it wasn't playing nice, but it looks like it fixed it for the most part when I
Okay.
went back and forth.
And then, yeah, you may do a center on screen just to make sure that you got it.
All right, well, that's good enough. It's maybe kind of small, but
All right. I'd like to dry brushing on these pieces.
there you go.
There we go.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Putting that on the movie list or something.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, because I think I only just saw it the one time. And I like Terry Gilliam's films a lot, but that's one I haven't. I don't think I ever owned that one. Let me see here. Let's mix these together. All right.
Putting you back in studio mode. I want to see what happens now if I bring up an image for previous.
Mhm.
Previous image. Oops. Not like that.
All right, there. I mixed up just some grays without the purple this time to finish up these two pieces that we have that had washed but not got the additional dry brush on them. And with these, I think I'm going to use the smaller brushes because they've got so many nooks and crannies to begin with. So this will be a little time intensive. I don't really...
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know. It shows this whole. It shows all the thumbnails and everything if you're viewing that screen.
If you've got thumbnails showing, yeah, it'll show anything that's in that center pocket
I
area.
see that.
And what I'm going to do, Randy, is I'm going to try to find a simpler image thumbnail program and then use to show that. But I'll try to do that before the next show, since that one's a little cranky pants.
Okay, that looks good. There we go. And it comes in properly now that I'm in the other folder. Like I went out of the import where I freshly imported it.
Oh, okay.
I went to the all photos
Gotcha.
folder.
And then
And it seems to be displaying properly from there.
okay. And then anything that you've imported, you can find from there.
Yeah, it looks like it. Which it's odd in that if you go to previous import, it just shows the one that I just imported. It doesn't show the ones that I imported previously before the very last one.
Oh, okay. So it just means just the last previous, the very last previous one. Okay.
So, did you want to talk about Picard on Tuesday? The first episode in more depth with spoilers?
Yeah, we'll have a spoiler cast.
All right.
On Tuesday. I think that sounds good. So if you are interested, check out the free YouTube casting that CBS All Access is doing.
I'll put up a link for it in the chat.
That'd be awesome.
And of course they're going to is that Nathan Fillion? Well, that's not it. Did they take it down already? Wait, nope, that's a review as well.
If you search YouTube for Picard pilot.
I did Picard, and then I did Picard episode 1 to try to make it more specific. Here's one that says Star Trek Picard episode 1, but I play it and it's only playing like a clip. Oh, that's a playlist. Alright, maybe... No? They've broken it into little scenes, little clips. That ain't it.
If you just look like under the news, you have something that's like, hey, showing this now for a limited, because that's how I found out about it. It was like in my Google News feed. So you might find an article that says, you know, pilot free limited time, something like that.
I found something that looks like it's really funny. We'll have to watch later. Picard and Data Pogo. It looks like some young actor or YouTuber as Picard and Data doing some sort of dance or something. Recommended. It was coming up right away previously.
Yeah, maybe it's...
They may have taken it down already.
Yeah, it was for a limited time, and the episode 2 might be getting ready, so maybe that's... I don't know.
Episode 1 full. Let's try that. It just starts with a bunch of playlists.
Quick gander here. I'll look at my history and see if I have it in my history, Randy, and I'll see if I can forward you that link. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My YouTube history.
Yeah, I meant to check mine. Let's see. Library history. Huh. Don't worry about it, JP. You keep doing.
Yeah, I think it.
It looks like they took it down as far as.
Yeah, I think
I'll keep looking for it, but.
I need to switch to which YouTube account I had. Try this one.
Because I'm not even finding it in my search history right now, or in my watch history.
Yeah, and a lot of times I think when that would happen, it would say though that it would be like removed or something. Randy, you know that the very first like motion picture, like it's the train, and they said that people were so scared that they left because they thought the train was going to come through, right? Well, somebody's taken that footage and used machine learning to do it at 60 frames per second, and it's really neat. We'll have to look at it afterwards. It's pretty interesting what they were able to do with it by increasing the frame rate. It's like because the pictures are so grainy, but it's kind of like when you're looking through like blinds, and when you move your head up and down, you can see the full picture, but at one point you're only seeing part of it.
Is that persistence of vision?
Yeah, it's like that thing. It looks like that by increasing the frame rate. Yeah. And being able to do that by machine learning of what all the other scenes are saying.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting because it's still grainy and everything, but.
When old movies flickered, it was due to the frame rate because the human eye is capable of perceiving like 60 frames per second or something, but the film wasn't able to record that fast or something like that.
Okay. Let me switch this one last time and see.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not finding it for some reason.
Looking at my library.
Makes you feel like an idiot though if it's like it's probably here and I'm just not finding it. Yeah. All right. Oh, Musfraba.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on mine either. So it appears that I checked all three of my accounts. It looks like they've taken it down. So
I'm glad I watched it when I did.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah. And that's why I same thing. I was trying to send it to you, and it wasn't obvious that what I had sent was, hey, this is limited for a free time. Because like I'd sent it to Chris, and I think he was saying he just thought I was just sending him a thing about the show, getting ready to start.
At first, it looked like it was saying that you needed to do the free trial to be able to watch it.
Oh.
But I clicked on it, and it started playing. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. So I would look forward to our spoiler cast.
Well, doggone it. I was hoping to watch it again before.
Let's see here.
All right, damn it. Stop showing me sneak peeks. I don't want to see that stuff. God damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
You bastards. Okay.
Computer, what time is it?
6 till.
6 till.
Computer's on strike.
You have a watch. Why don't you look at it?
Computer's having a failure of our isometric chips.
I hate that. We need to change them probably to isolinears.
Oh, yeah. It's the Voyager. It's one of the first ships to have the organic elements in their chips they were having problems with.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was their engine was a more organic based. Didn't it get a cold?
It sounds right. Yeah, picked up some sort of virus or something. But it was like a biological type virus.
I think my favorite part of the of that series of Voyager might be the EMH.
Yeah, it's cool element.
You remember there's one episode where he's doing some holodeck stuff, and he takes a name because the EMH never has a name, and he's like, and he decides on a name, and it's really goofy. It's like Gilgamesh or something like that, and but then he drops it by the end of the episode. But I can't remember what it was, but it was something really out there. I'm liking how splotchy this looks. This is kind of cool. So just trying to preserve some of this variation that we have, but yet giving it some highlights, and I'll hit it again with even a lighter touch of some higher, brighter whiters. highlights, but this is coming looking pretty good for right now. Pretty good for right this moment, I think. If anybody made it this long, give me a shout out of Gilgamesh in the notes. In the old chatteroo. You listen to this afterwards? Give me a hell yeah, Gilgamesh. Some of the Gilgamesh lovin's. Oh, he's in for some Gilgamesh lovin's. Alright, then moving it to the front here. I think this is the last spots that we have. This one's done. This one still needs to be done. Alright, we're close to finishing up this piece. And then we'll have just this one piece here to do. And then what will be remaining is doing the dry brushing on all the brick pieces and all of them. And then another, like I say, a light highlight on everything, and then maybe touch up with some ink washes here and there, and then we'll look to add any of the other wow factor items like vines and extra rubble and so on and so forth.
Oh, did you, was there anything about the episode title that you
the
needed
titular
to
moment. Thank you, Randy.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make sure that I pay attention to the titular moment. But the nerd moment was Smoothie Q-Breeze. So we have it covered today.
Okay, cool.
Because it was
That's right, because you
drop in your nerd drawers. And I did, though, speaking of that, the last program was not the man in the box. So we never actually did get a chance to come to that titular moment. So we'll just, we're going to let it be. But I did want to acknowledge it. John, in particular, has made comments on sometimes that the title doesn't necessarily line up with it. And that's because the title is created in advance. So I'm taking a guess at what it might be, and I don't want to change it for somebody who's already, watched it and said, "Oh, I wanted to see not the man in the box," and then I changed it because we didn't talk about it. So, but I will try to make sure that we do a better job of addressing the titular moments because I like saying titular. I feel like I'm being naughty, Randy, when I say the word titular. Randy.
Yes, sir.
Do you like it when I say the word titular?
I giggle every time you say it, so I suppose so.
I guess. Begrudgingly, yes, I do. I wish it was not true. All right, my friend. I think that this is what we have for today. Stream ceiling. Oh, are you on?
What?
Are you in studio mode?
Yeah. Hold on. There you go.
Thank you. And so this is. Got its dry brushing. In comparison, you can see that this one that still has the inky ink wash. Let me do this on some of the different cameras that you can see there. So, and let's see if now the M50 doesn't want to play nice, so we won't worry about that. So again, working on this piece, and then it's going to be all these bricks that are going to get their initial dry brush, and they definitely will get up. We'll dry brush those. We'll do ink washes on those, and then dry brush them again. So still stuff to be done.
Wait, this is written a year ago. Okay, I found this article somebody wrote on Reddit. Reddit.com/r/Daystrom Institute /comments. It is, I prefer the old isolinear chips over bioneural gel packs. Am I being unreasonable?
I love it.
It seems like, after looking over the specs and observing the Voyager in action, that bio-neural gel packs are quite a liability over the good old brightly colored isolinear chips we all know and love. I mean, class of ship and size aside, the Defiant class ship seems to function just fine on good old isolinear chips, and it seems that, barring a few specific instances on Voyager, namely during the time fragmentation crisis during the Shattered, those gel packs have been more of a problem than a boon.
Well,
Voyager doesn't.
there's a couple of interesting.
We'll place nano packs into the gel pack. Nano probes into the gel packs, and the Borg have themselves a brand new set of I-50 drones. Yes, well done, sir. Well done.
What's funny is nobody would ever be allowed to be in the holodeck as horrible as they are, right?
As horrible as.
In every single show that has a holodeck,
yeah.
How many times has the safety protocols gone offline?
Oh.
And you can actually die now, right? And it's like the amount of holodeck accidents and the amount of transporter accidents, you know. We can use a transporter and we'll just it put us into another multiverse. Oh, you transporter!
It only happens on the Enterprise though. So.
It's like
it's the one ship in the fleet that has that issue. Apparently.
It's like, you know, they beam somebody down and Kirk asks Scotty, he's like, what did he say? And he says, I think he said diagonally. You just can't trust, you know.
Did you use the flu powder when you?
Thank you, Randy. Yeah. So on that note, yeah, it is funny how all that stuff. It's like, yeah, but then it's not fun if it's like, well, nobody could ever get hurt in the holodeck. Doesn't make for an interesting story, I suppose.
It does call into question Geordi's skills.
His skills?
Yeah.
As a lover?
No, as an engineer and, making sure that the flagship of the fleet is in tip-top shape.
Oh, you blame that on Geordi?
I
don't blame that on Geordi.
Apparently, it's the only ship that has this issue. Because you never hear about other ships having, slipping into other dimensions or anything in their...
But it's every ship with the name Enterprise, and he was only on one of them. So
yeah, I know, right?
So that's not his fault. He's not the correlating factor.
God, I'd say he's responsible for maintaining the ship, right? So whoever his underling is that's responsible, he's
who
still
hired
ahead
him?
of them, right?
He needs to spend more time with with the creator of the Enterprise and the holodeck, you know. Yeah.
I still like where they were doing Sherlock Holmes with Data.
Yeah, that's in the second season, because that's Dr. Polanski. She's the one that challenges Data, because she's like, he could never do a real Holmes mystery. And Geordi's like, bitch, please. And so they do one, and she's like, he knows all the Holmes novels. He's going to know the answer to all of them. And so Geordi says, computer, make a
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
I was trying to talk quicker, but he says, make an opponent that is capable of defeating Data in a Holmesian style, blah, 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 blah. And then the computer goes, brrr, and all the power dims and the lights all dim in the Enterprise. And the thing is that he told him something that could beat Data, not beat Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
And hijinks and hilarity ensue. And then about 5 years later, they revisit that episode in another amazing episode. One of the best things that I love about Star Trek Next Generation was, them bringing back some of the beloved characters and themes. That's always good stuff.
Oh, shoot. I just accidentally closed a picture that had I meant to show you. More modern picture. Recent picture of Dean Stockwell.
Oh, okay.
Where'd it go?
And that was Sam. Ziggy says there's a 3.6% chance that I'm going to say something sexually suggestive. I'm kidding. That chance is way higher than that.
Reopen, close tab. Here we go.
Yeah, there
we go.
that actor showed us that if nothing, the future is still filled with lots of misogyny.
Yeah.
That is not something we have mastered.
Oh, god damn this thing. What did it do with it? There it is.
Randy, do you think that time travel, that if you go back in time and change something, does it change your timeline or just change the multiverse version? Like it changes a different timeline?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Hold on a second.
I think that's something we can use another day. Oh, look at that. Is this the...
So
we're going to do the time lapse?
Here, I'm going to you. Yep. These are multiple.
He really
pictures
did
of
fancy
them. Look.
himself a Jim Dean sort of character,
Yeah, right.
didn't he?
Look at how he started when he was a wee lad. Here's the one I was talking about.
His personality makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, he was a good-looking dude back in the day.
Yeah, some of the shots he kind of looks like that the heinous Cazanas guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, Randy, we went a few minutes over today. Do you have anything else there that of all the stuff that you were looking up that you wanted to make sure we eyeballed before we... While you're taking a look at that, I'll go ahead and thank everybody for their time and attention. Again, if anybody made it this long, just give us a Gilgamesh shout out. And I think that's it. Take a look at all the stuff that we have down there. The recommended gear. I try to make sure I put the link to the Liquitex, but we also have the link just to the recommended gear there, so you can check all of that out and all the other stuff down there. Our Instagram, our Facebook, our Patreon, our Quasi Shop, where we have all of our sweet nerd stuff. Reminds you to hit the like button, to share, which is where you tell all of them people that you know about all the stuff that we're doing here. And then if you hit the subscribe button, it gives you the bell icon. And Randy, when they click the bell icon, good things will happen for everybody involved. You'll get to know that there is a bell that is ringing in our studio every single time that you click that.
Whoops.
And it also sometimes incidentally will set Randy's phone off by accident. So I would appreciate whoever it was that just did that right now. Thank you.
With the ukulele.
You're doing good work. And I think that's what I have, Randy. Do you have anything else that you wish to impart upon the good people before we...
Love yourselves and love one another, my friends.
Be good.
I'm gonna play us out with the ukulele if it'll cooperate.
Yep. And when you do that, once we hear the uke, I'll give a little bit of the doctor's promise. We're just waiting on that sweet uke.
This isn't the one I wanted, but oh wait, maybe this.
Go uke yourself.
Oh, here we go. Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, never give in. Dot, dot, dot. Go uke yourself, everybody.